fucking stay fucking connected. Holy shit. Excuse me, hold on. I'm watching a thing about the RPG-7 right now. Too complicated. For something like the Panzerfaust or the RPG-2, it's something that's pretty simple. Stuff you can make in a garage. Now, if you want to harm me based on things that I've done, there isn't much you can do. If you want to harm me based on my education, well, you're going to have to keep me away from literally everything. If you want to pretend like I'm some horrible monster out to kill millions and millions of people, I'm some next Hitler type of shit, you're insane. There's a lot of really cool stuff you can learn. There's also a lot of stuff that gets you in trouble if you make it. You can't make an RPG-2 legally. But you can make something of your own design, as long as it isn't a military design. As long as the black powder charge is separate from the projectile, that means they don't connect together. There's some specific rules to it. You're only allowed to use a certain size of charge. So make sure in your state you know which charge it is. I don't mean legal charge, I mean the legal quantity of powder that you're allowed to use. There's a shell to put in it. It's just a tube. The moment you got a shell to put in it, or I guess you'd call it a rocket, but they're not. They're shaped charged grenades. But as long as you don't put a shaped charge in it, let's say you fill it with, well, I was saying cement, but you could fill it with dirt. Hell, you could just fire a regular can out of it if you wanted to. Just make sure you got a spacer behind it so it doesn't blow your can through. Make a big old mess, a can of beans or some cream corn. Anyway, I'll probably be out here tomorrow flying a sign too. The longer you're in an area, the less likely people are to give you money. But people yesterday were pretty giving at the end of the day, weren't they? Of course they were. Ain't no denying it. There's a lot of folks here who are starting to understand I'm not crazy, I'm fucking freaked out. It's hard to function when you're freaking out. People want to come up on you and pretend you're some sort of a horrible monster, an excuse to hurt you. We don't have to hurt each other, you know. A lot of these people, I'd let them get by with just apology, telling the truth. Just some of these people hold positions of power that they used in order to harm innocent people. And yeah, those people cannot be allowed to keep those positions of power. People like Scott Costa, people like Polly Olson, Sarah Nelson, Michelle Decini. Of those four, Scott Costa is the only one still got his position. Oh wait, no. We have one more to add to that list, and she got her position back, although she did, in fact, indeed, engage in domestic assault against her girlfriend, and that would be Garden County Sheriff Michelle Quinn. And although she was not there and present for the abuse by Scott Costa's victims, or by her own victims, she did have to sign off on it before Scott Costa could pawn me off on their jail. RPG2 ones. And looking at the way some of the other, like Panzerfaust and different types of Panzerfaust are made, different countries that these things are made in. In Afghanistan, they were literally cutting the entire treasure group and housing and everything using a hacksaw. Everything. Just a hacksaw. That's pretty difficult to do. That was kind of a cool video. It was low definition, but it was a cool video. By the end of it, yeah, it certainly looked like it was a professionally made RPG2, but it was an RPG2, not an RPG7. Those get a lot more complicated. An RPG7 is both like powder charge or explosive gases. They're not technically explosive gases, they're propellant gases. Will propel the projectile out of the launch tube. And then once it's out of the launch tube, about 7 yards or so, it'll be about 23 feet, I think. Or, sorry, 21 feet. With the measurement they do it is metric, so it'll be about 23 feet. So, Charlie did get a tire change. Cool. That means he didn't get his car stolen or towed or anything like that. Now the main thing that I'd like to focus on right now is the idea of working together. Instead of just telling everybody that they need to be out for themselves, if we actually work together, we get something accomplished. A lot of y'all, you've got these violent-minded ideas, always. And you don't stop to consider that your violent ideas, when somebody has had to live through a life of violence, yeah, they don't want violent ideas. They don't want to have to deal with it violently. They don't want to deal with other people dealing with it violently because it doesn't make anything better. Now, when I said that threatening to kill people is violent, from your...
You want a gas?
Do what?
I get a gas?
Absolutely.
Okay, go. No money.
Wait. Yes, sir. My name is Sean.
John? My
Yes, sir.
name is Rego.
Rigo,
Yeah,
good to meet you.
Mexico.
I've never been there.
Oh, yeah? Where are you going?
Well, I gotta camp up the mountains a bit. It's about 20 miles up there.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I keep saying I'm gonna go up there and get my stuff just about every weekend, but I never make it up there because I'm always trying to get money for gas to run around all the places they tell me to go.
Where are your car?
It's over at the
Parking?
library parking lot.
Okay. Don't worry.
Ugly little green Honda.
Honda. Year?
94.
94? That's good. 94. You start in Oregon? Your
Uh,
house in Oregon?
I actually had to change my driver's license over and move here to Oregon.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, don't worry. Ahorita fuel your car, the gas. Okay?
Do what?
The fuel, the gas, your car. Okay?
Okay.
Right now it's a little bit, pero come back. Okay?
All right. Yes, sir. Got a lot of one ways in this town. A lot more homeless people than there used to be.
You go.
It's at the library parking lot.
Looks
Right
like,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's right on the other side of that, the Lighthouse Aviation Care
Okay.
Center. And that very first car on the very first space right there. Yep.
Yes.
It's a nice house, huh?
No, it's good. Honda is good.
Keeps
I
running
like
off
a
my
Honda.
head.
Toyota y Honda, I like.
They run forever. Right.
What happened?
Well, that was from a guy kicking it
No,
yesterday.
what happened?
Oh,
It's okay. Look at it.
a lot of evidence, a lot of trash. Oh, I used to have something for that. Yeah, this works. Oh,
No
come
penal
on.
inside?
Bonjour. Good to see you, Nick.
Yeah, I see, man. I'm going to Starbucks.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's a little slower that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna brag about this. I'm from Nebraska, and they blame everything on blacks and Mexicans. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, you know what? Since I've been in Oregon, you'd be surprised at who's been treating me good. It's always weird trying to get the last drop out. Thank you for that. No, that ain't gonna work. I thought I had a tall funnel that might make that work, but it's alright. Heck yeah. This thing's got a teeny tiny tank. That could probably get me over halfway because that takes 2.5 or 2 gallons and 8 ounces on top of that. So that's a lot of gas for a car like this.
Yeah, amigo.
Thank you.
Hey, be careful.
You rock. Oh my God, I am so grateful for that feller. No joke. Like I said, it's been a lot of Hispanic folks, or brown folks, I should say, right? That's how you want to term it, brown folks. Yeah, Native Americans been taking care of me. And Hispanic folks been taking care of me. You got no idea. Even some of the white folks that I've been talking with have been helping me out, informing me that they're Hispanic. One of them little blonde girls. Her family's from Mexico. Her hair is dyed blonde. I shouldn't call her a little blonde girl. She's like 33. It has the wrong connotation and it's kind of condescending too. There's a difference between rocking back and forth because I'm having a mental breakdown and rocking back. That guy took me to the gas station, got me some gas. I wasn't sure what to say. I hope I was. I also want you guys to know that, well, you're being mean, looking for excuses to be mean. You can hear people time and again on my channel that don't speak very good English being good to me, being as kind as they can to a stranger. I could probably, let me see, I might be up to close to half a tank. That might almost be enough to get up the mountains and back. The lower part of the tank, for some odd reason, disappears faster than the top half, according to my gas gauge. I won't be able to tell how much is in there, however, until I press start. I was going to make a video about the prig, mostly just talking about it because I'm not interested in actually making the things. See, here's something I want to stress upon all you. This shit's dangerous, and if you do it wrong, well, you don't get to mess up twice. There's a lot of people that are missing fingers and toes and all sorts of other shit because they were fucking around with things that they thought they knew better about. And I've made some really super tiny rockets. Super tiny. It was a rocket I saw on Sonic Dad. It's a pretty cool site. It's basically a bunch of projects you can do with your kids. And it's called the Matchstick Rocket. I made one of them. They're not very big. They only shoot about 10 feet. It's not something spectacular. But it's cheap, it's easy, and it's cool to watch. Now, if I could find my keys, I could start my car and see how much gas that gave me. We had a 2.5 gallon tank. That's about $5 a gallon. So it's not like it's super cheap here. Although I don't know what it is in the rest of the country. I haven't left Oregon in a while. Let's see how much gas I got. Well, almost a half a tank. That works. Just barely under. Hopefully it doesn't get stuck there again. It did that once. Got completely stuck in the middle, and then it didn't go anywhere. It kind of sucked. Anyway, that's just enough, hopefully, for me. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm going to go out a little bit more and try to come up with enough for dinner. See, the one thing people don't understand is I'm not going to be heard. No one's going to take it serious. Someone goes in with me and speaks up, says, hey, dude's telling the truth. If I told you that a Hispanic feller helped me out today and that it's been primarily Hispanic people that helped me out, like Carlos, when I was walking back from the hospital or from the jail, these guys do this shit to be fucking mean. And it's not okay. In Nebraska, they'd send me all the way to Scotts Bluff and try to make me walk back from there, the pieces of shit. And of course, they have the officer who is the biggest issue come and arrest me. They let him do it just to gloat. Ha ha, you can't do nothing, Sean. We're not going to let you do a goddamn thing. How dare you tell on us for not doing the jobs we're paid to do? How dare I speak up and how dare I record? Y'all ain't none too bright, is you? Alright, so let's see. I'm down to 29% battery on this phone. I'll probably go over there and listen to some more of this thing about the prig launcher. Oh, RPG-7. It's almost done, though.
The RPG-7 has been the weapon of all wars for nearly 60 years, and it will continue to be in the future. Let's accept that no sensible commander can go to war or even a minor skirmish by ignoring the threat of the legendary RPG-7.
It's very true, except here.
Thanks for watching our video. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to be notified of our new videos. Also, you can now click the join button to support our channel. And as always, we would greatly appreciate all the likes, comments, and shares.
Some of the first shipments ever of RPG-7s went to where? Cuba. Why don't we see RPG-7s all over Cuba? Well, First of all, because Russia took most of them back, redistributed them around other places in the Caribbean, South America, basically anywhere that there was any sort of insurgent crisis that would destabilize the Western world. The Russians were awful kind about that. So there's a lot of places in South America you can find RPG-7s. And sometimes they encroach as far north as Mexico. We have tens of thousands of RPG-7s in the hands of civilians in the United States of America. Tens of thousands of them. And almost every single one of them could be remilitarized for under $10. Think about that. Just saying. Sand out the barrel obstruction. Put a sleeve around the damn thing in the area where there's a hole. There's a guy who actually has a video about how to make that conversion. It's really cool to watch. I would not recommend it. Now, he did it with an RPG-7, which is the one that he got was $1,100 and something, and had it shipped right to him. And of course, for $1,100, you'd hope that they would. And when he goes through the whole thing, he goes through the laws where he's at and what licenses he has, and he can do this and he can do that, and he doesn't recommend doing it at home, and so on and so forth. Some of the machining processes he's not allowed to show, so as long as you have some experience in machining, you know what the hell you're talking about. Or you know what the hell he's talking about. But, you know, you can find them sometimes for as low as $950 during some times of the year in different conflicts. When a conflict ends, we tend to get at least a small amount from soldiers who go, you know what, I still got this RPG. Might as well pretend I fired it, or go fire off the last few rounds, or disassemble the last few rounds and sell them to some unsuspecting Americans for $150 a piece. As long as the explosives are out, nobody gives a shit. It's just an empty shell. As far as demilitarizing it, you gotta basically drill a hole through it, put a rod through, weld the rod in place, and cut a hole out of the side of it, and you make $1,100. Sometimes they have it in kit form, where, like, say you're in Hollywood, right? And you want to have the look for your movie, but you don't want anybody to actually get blowed up on accident by a Baldwin. Well, Baldwin resistant items will definitely help out with that. Also, with the RPG-7, you can slide in a dummy RPG-2 into the end of it, and it'll complete the look. Sure, it's the wrong projectile, but where they put the bore obstruction in it, it's a bore obstruction to prevent you from putting a RPG-7 round inside of an RPG-7 tube. An RPG-2 round is a lot shorter, has a lot smaller charge, and of course it doesn't have any rocket propulsion at all. It's just the charge, the initial charge. Now this one right here I want to turn you all on to. It's called, let me find the name of it. Most of these are 3D printed. The stuff you guys were most afraid of, people are absolutely doing. Fliegenfaust. Let me see. Firing a Panzerfaust. It's called Wild Arms Research and Development. And that's a Fliegerfaust on the front of it. End of World War II, the Germans made those, put modified 20 millimeter rounds in them, turned the rounds into rockets, and fired them at airplanes. They're complete shit. They also make, oh, let me show you this. This is 3D printed, and it started off its life differently. I'll show it to you. Those are all 3D printed rounds because, of course, they can't fire real rounds. That would get them in trouble. They have to make it so that it fits in according to the BATS specifications and all that B shit. And proper tax stamps. It's important to know how things work before you go messing with them. If you got the possibility of running into this stuff, you might want to look some of this stuff up. For me, do I have a possibility of running into this stuff? Well, yeah, I'm a dude. Every guy has to worry about that. Being sent off to war, drafted unceremoniously. Gotta love it. Now, that rocket that he has in that video is a bit different, isn't it? That very same rocket also looks like this. It also looks like that. It's literally a 40 millimeter tube with black powder. You can even make your own black powder. I have enough stuff to make some decent quantities of black powder if I wanted to. By decent quantities, I mean by like a hunting standard. Like you could probably go hunting for close to a year. But that's figuring you only have to take out maybe 1 deer per month to feed you and your family, as long as you know what the hell you're doing, know how to harvest everything. It's easy to get the stuff that you need to make 12 to 14 ounces of black powder, and that's all you need for an entire year's supply. You don't even need that. If you're just using it for dinner getting, you don't need any more. Now with these here, you can actually, as long as it's just the black powder, if you put an RPG-7 round in it, that is rocket propelled. It comes out of the end of the tube, and then it ignites. Also, you can't use a real RPG-7 or RPG-2 round either, even if it's demilitarized and don't have any explosives. The reason for that is because you have to screw the explosive onto the back of the projectile. That's putting casing on a round. You're not allowed to do that either. It has to be a separate charge. So you have to do it in two parts. You slide in your black powder charge, and then you slide in your RPG-2 round, instead of it being a charge that is screwed into the back end of the RPG-2 round. There's a lot that goes into it, and in order to have your own legal version, by the way, you can hunt with them. That's right. You can hunt with a recoilless black powder rifle. You can get, you can get doe and antelope. I think in some states there's laws against shooting a buck with them. I don't know why. Also, during certain portions of the year, you have to pay attention, because if there's a no burn up at the moment, then you're not allowed to use anything that fires that way, because you're basically putting a giant amount of flame out the back end of it. But what you're not allowed to do just for yourself to make it a black powder is to take an original tube and fix it. That's different entirely. Manufacturing your own RPG-2 rounds that'll fit into an RPG-2 and firing them is illegal as fuck. That's why these people are not doing that. What they're doing is they're having a 2-phase charge, which is legal. Matter of fact, in some of these, you have to rear load and then front load. The reason for that, it's a 40 millimeter tube. Now let's see. The tube on a Panzerfaust. When did the first Panzerfaust come out? We oughta probably show you what a Panzerfaust looks like. I think it would be in the shorts. This is a Panzerfaust. Sorry about the buffering. I don't know why it didn't load the pictures. Come on. Yep. You can literally fire it one-handed. Recoilless rifle. Of course, it's not a rifle, is it? The Fliegerfaust, it fires 9 different projectiles, each 20 millimeters. So it's basically 9 different recoilless rifles, all strapped together. But of course, since the tubes for them are 40 millimeters across the board, the tube for the RPG-7, or the projectile, 40 millimeter, the piece that slides into the tube is 40 millimeters. The RPG-7, same thing. Panzerfaust, same thing. All the Panzerfaust except for the very first one, it was 30 millimeter. 37 millimeter, I think. And the Russians, when they made their first one, their RPG-1, it was 30 millimeter instead of 40. But they standardized it, so now if you got a 40 millimeter tube, you can make it look like any one of those. You just got to make sure you follow the laws as far as what you load it with. And although you can make it look similar, you have to make sure that you don't make it look exactly the same, because then they'll hit you for manufacturing a firearm. Well, no, manufacturing of a destructive device. If you have any rounds in the house whatsoever that you can fire out of it, they can get you with a destructive device, which is why you make sure that you don't have your powder charge anywhere in the house, and you make sure that you don't have anything with an explosive in it. Here in America, there's a lot of people that are making these, and they're loading them up with just regular fireworks. Those get interesting. And then make a video about it. One of the videos here, he makes fun of people that are flexing their demilled RPGs. That's because these guys made these. All of these that are shown here are made by people. Well, except for this one where they're going to make fun of this guy for flexing. Oh, no, they're not. It's called Stop Flexing Demilled RPG. That's a prig. That's the Irish one. Well, like I told you, this guy made all these himself. He has licenses for it. So he's able and you're not. These are all chalk rounds. Now, of course, talking about explosives and talking about RPGs and talking about foreign nationals and all this. For years and years and years and years, I get to hear from people about how all this will get you red flagged, it'll get you locked up, it'll get this, it'll get that. I'm like, really? See, I tried to get the FBI to listen. They didn't listen. So I tried doing whatever I could to get red flagged. All this stuff, people are saying, hey, dude, if you do this, if you do that. Oh, man, what you got to do is when you search stuff, you have to make it incognito. And if you make it incognito, it's supposed to make it so that you feel safe. But really, man, if you make it incognito and do your search, it's automatically red flag because they're like, hey, man, what's this guy trying to hide? It's obvious you're trying to hide something. You're going incognito. Hey, man, you know, if you talk about explosives on your channel, they have to. You know, if you order an 80% AR-15 kit online, then they'll come to your door and take it from you. Well, they didn't. But I've seen YouTube videos of people they did. Saying something's against the law doesn't stop people from doing it. A lot of people, when I tell them what the cops tried to do, they say, oh, the cops can't do that. Yeah, exactly. That's the fucking point. Well, I guess I'll get back over there and try to come up with a little more gas or food, whichever. I'll be glad for either one, right? Or at least I should be. Y'all are disgusting for the most part. The ones of you who are not disgusting, I want to thank you for existing. I'm going to end this video and say thank you. Thank goodness for, well, today it was a Mexican, now wasn't it? Absolutely. Thank goodness.